Hello and welcome to Kashmir Now. I'm your host Shreyasa Vijay. Let's take a look at some stories of this week's episode. Pall of gloom descends on health workers of illegally occupied Gilgit-Baltistan as they lose their job. Government reduces and reshuffles seats reserved for GB students in Pakistan's medical universities. Then we'll take you to meet Aisha Aziz from Baramulla, who became India's youngest pilot at the age of 16. And later, in our special edition of Incredible India, we'll visit the famous Colourful Float Festival of Madurai. Be it providing basic amenities to its people or fulfilling their rightful demands, the government of illegally occupied Gilgit-Baltistan, which works in cahoots with Islamabad, has always lagged behind. It is only concerned with filling its own coffers rather than doing something for the betterment of its people. As a result, time and again, people have to come on the streets to demand their rights. Recently, the healthcare workers in the region demonstrated against the exploitation they are suffering at the hands of corrupt administration. We have a report.
A large number of health workers carried out demonstrations across illegally occupied Gilgit-Baltistan after they were fired by the authorities without giving any proper justification. These employees were recruited under emergency clauses during the pandemic and were even asked to do extra duty owing to the overwhelming infection cases the region reported. But when the pandemic situation improved, they were thrown out, citing a lame reason that there are no funds to pay their salaries. Employees even complained that they have just got 5 months' salary, though they worked for 6 months.
कह रहे हैं कि भाई नीचे से वफाक से फंड नहीं मिल रहा है, हम आपको नहीं रख सकते, हमारे पास इतना पैसे नहीं है जिससे हम आपको रख सकें। हमने 6 महीने काम किया है, 6 महीनों में हमें 5 महीने का तनख्वाह मिला है, उनमें से 1 महीने का तनख्वाह भी नहीं मिला है। तो रिस्क हम लोगों ने लिया था, रिस्क लॉस किसी और को मिला है।
हम एहतजाज करते हैं वज़ीर आला गिलगित बल्तिस्तान से, हम एहतजाज करते हैं चीफ सेक्रेटरी गिलगित बल्तिस्तान से, हम एहतजाज करते हैं सेक्रेटरी हेल्थ गिलगित बल्तिस्तान से। इनसे गुजारिश है कि ये लोग पहले ही बेरोज़गार हो चुके हैं, क्योंकि ये वो लोग हैं, कोई लेबॉर्ट्री में काम करता है, लेबॉर्ट्री टेक्नीशियन, जनरल नर्सिंग और जूनियर मेडिकल टेक्नीशियन यहाँ मौजूद हैं। ये जब उससे पहले मुख्तलिफ शहर के प्राइवेट हॉस्पिटलों में काम कर रहे थे। अपने इलाके में जब कोरोना उरूज पे आया तो वहाँ से छोड़ के यहाँ आए थे। वहाँ से तो ये बेरोज़गार हो चुके थे पहले, तो आज यहाँ से भी हमें बेरोज़गार किया गया है। हम पुरजोर अपील करते हैं वज़ीर आला साहब से, एक दफ़ा फिर हमें दोबारा से बहाल किया जाए।
There are a total of 112 health workers across Gilgit-Baltistan who have become victim at the hands of cruel administration that only works for the interests of Pakistan. They were hired through a proper selection procedure and administration assured to restore them once the contract ends. But when the COVID-19 cases reduced, they were terminated.
एक एडवर्टाइज के थ्रू लिया गया पहले, और एसडीपी इनकी पूरी कमेटी बैठी है जनाब। कमेटी में सेक्रेटरी साहब खुद चेयरमैन थे, उसके अलावा फाइनेंस और सर्विसेज और डायरेक्टर साहब खुद बैठे थे। 12 रुकनी टीम ने टेस्ट इंटरव्यू के बाद इन लोगों ने सेलेक्ट किया। उसके बाद हमें पता चला कि 98 डेज़ के लिए एक आर्डर थमाया गया। उस वक्त हमने इनसे ये मुआहदा किया था कि हम काम नहीं करेंगे। इन लोगों ने कहा आगे एक्सटेंशन आपकी दी जाएगी और आपको बहाल किया जाएगा। कोरोना उरूज पे था, एमरजेंसी बेसिस पे हमें मुख्तलिफ गिलगित के मुख्तलिफ ज़िलों पे तैनात किया गया। हम गए, उसके बाद 3 महीने जब टर्न्योर पूरा हुआ तो 3 महीने बाद फिर से एक और एक्सटेंशन हो गई हमारी, और उसके बाद हमें फारिग किया गया है।
It is not just about the health workers. Pakistan has systematically denied benefits, rights and resources to the people of this illegally occupied territory for more than 7 decades. Demands and dissents have been suppressed using excessive force and in some cases Even a legislative route has been used to keep them marginalized and deprived.
Pakistan's indifferent attitude towards the people of its illegally occupied territories continues to act as the biggest hurdle in their progress. Forget about doing anything for the betterment of these people. Pakistan is even depriving them of the rights and facilities that were earlier granted to them. One such recent incident that is grabbing limelight is the reduction in medical seats for Gilgit-Baltistan students in the medical colleges of Pakistan. Pakistan has once again proved that it doesn't want the youth of its illegally occupied territories to study in prestigious institutions and progress in life. In yet another discriminatory step, it has reduced the MBBS seats for GB students in the public sector medical and dental colleges, especially of its Punjab province. The seats have been reduced from 64 to 60. And the worst part is that a number of Gilgit-Baltistan medical seats have been shifted from the top-ranked medical colleges in Pakistan to low-ranked colleges. Slamming this move of Pakistani government, activists said that it is doing completely opposite of what it has promised to the people of its illegally occupied territories.
Despite the rhetoric that they are going to turn Gilgit-Baltistan into another paradise, despite the promises made by Ali Amin Gandapur, who is the Federal Minister for Kashmir Affairs, that they will invest 400 billion rupees in Gilgit-Baltistan once they are elected, what is happening is the opposite. Recently, they have announced that they are going to curtail and reduce the quota for medical students in Pakistani medical colleges. They have reduced it from 64 to 60. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they are further reduced. But what have they done is, the medical colleges, A-class medical colleges of Pakistan, ACE colleges of Pakistan, medical schools of Pakistan, they have shifted the quota from those colleges as well, and they have moved them to second class medical schools. So our students, even though they have quota for 60 seats, they still cannot get into the best medical schools in Pakistan now.
Meanwhile, to protest against this discriminatory attitude of Pakistan, GB students have also launched a campaign on social media about the issue with Restore MBBS Seats for GBians hashtag. Pakistan has already kept Gilgit-Baltistan bereft of medical and engineering institute, due to which the students are forced to seek education in other cities of Pakistan. And now, instead of establishing higher education institutions in the region, it is reducing the already reserved seats for GB students.
They want to push us into Stone Age. They do not want us to study. There is no medical college in Gilgit-Baltistan. There is no engineering university in Gilgit-Baltistan. So, instead of saying that we are going to build a new medical college in Gilgit-Baltistan or facilitate the students, there is even no electricity so that our students can go online and, complete their education or enhance their skills. So Gilgit-Baltistan at the moment is being deliberately pushed into submission, further submission. We are occupied, we are Indian territory, and they are further pushing us further into submission and backwardness by these actions.
Such a state of affairs is not only limited to the education sector, but the people of Gilgit-Baltistan experience discrimination in almost all spheres of their lives. Either it is civil liberties or the quality of life. The people here have been granted almost nothing by Pakistan establishment, which claims itself to be the protector of the region. Next, we move to Jammu and Kashmir. whose women are determined to rise above all stereotypes and show the world that they can excel in all the fields with by men. Be it water sports, martial arts or bodybuilding, women are successfully making their mark in these fields, inspiring others as well. So today, we take you to meet a young Kashmiri woman who made the entire nation proud by becoming the youngest pilot of the country.
Having made her name in the list of India's first, Aisha Aziz from Jammu and Kashmir's Baramulla is a beacon of empowerment and a source of inspiration for every woman in the country. In the year 2011, Aziz graduated in aviation from Bombay Flying Club and became the youngest student pilot to get a license at the age of 16. Later, in 2017, she received commercial pilot license.
मैंने 10th तक मुंबई में पढ़ाई की थी and after that I started with my pilot course, and after 10th is when I joined to become a pilot, and that is when I received my student pilot's license. तो 10th के बाद मैंने शुरू किया, and that is how my journey began.
Though Aziz has spent the most part of her life in Mumbai due to her father's business in the city, but she is highly connected to her Kashmiri roots. It was due to her frequent air travels to Jammu and Kashmir that inspired her to travel and made her interested in flying further, adding to her curiosity and obsession with airplanes and pilots.
मेरा ननिहाल कश्मीर में था और हम अक्सर कश्मीर आते जाते थे, तो आई वॉज़ वेरी फैसिनेटेड बाय फ्लाइंग एंड टू बी एट 40,000 फीट उसका एक अलग ही चार्म होता है, एंड यू आर फ्लाइंग कॉन्स्टेंटली. आप एक जगह से दूसरे जगह जाते हैं, यू गेट टू मीट सो मैनी डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ पीपल. सो आई थिंक दीज थिंग्स वर द रीजंस व्हाई आई वांटेड टू बिकम अ पायलट, एंड इन वजहों के रीजंस के वजह से मैंने ये फील्ड ऑप्ट की.
Aisha's parents have always guided and supported her to achieve her dreams and are extremely proud of her.
ये हर वालिदैन का फ़र्ज़ होना चाहिए कि अपने बच्चों को जिस मकसद और जिस इरादे से वो आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं उनके साथ शाना बशाना हमें ताउन करना चाहिए, और स्टेप बाय स्टेप जो कुछ भी हो दामे दिल में कदमे हम बच्चों को उनकी मुस्तक़बिल और उनको जहाँ पहुँचना है हमें जो कुछ भी एज अ फंडामेंटल राइट्स ऑफ पेरेंट्स वी शुड फुलफिल टू अचीविंग देयर गोल एंड टारगेट.
Besides becoming the youngest female pilot of the country, today the 25-year-old Aisha Aziz has incredible achievements to her name. In 2012, she undertook a 2-month space training course at NASA. She has also undergone training to fly a MiG-29 jet at Russia's Sokol Air Base. In 2018, she was felicited by Army Chief and President of India under the First Lady's title at Rashtrapati Bhavan. Presently, she is an honorary member of Indian Women Pilots Association and pilots Cessna 152 and Cessna 172 aircrafts. Greatly inspired by the American astronaut Sunita Williams, Aisha believes that being a pilot is quite challenging and you have to be mentally very strong to sustain in this field.
It is very challenging क्योंकि ये आपका डे टू डे लाइफ जॉब की तरह नहीं होता है, 9 to 5 डेस्क जॉब. इट इज़ यू आर ट्रैवलिंग टू डिफरेंट प्लेसेस, यू डोंट हैव अ पैटर्न कि आपको सुबह में जाना है शाम को आना है. इट इज़ लाइक एनी टाइम यू कैन गो, एज इन you have a night flight तो आपको रात में जाना है, you have like an early morning flight, so you don't have a fixed pattern. आपका your body has to be acclimatized, so that makes it super challenging. New places, new weathers, new everything. You have to be mentally very very strong in this field. I think जो मैंने अभी तक experience किया है या learn किया है, आप जितना ही अपने mental if you're not mentally strong, it's going to be difficult for you to go ahead. तो I think इस profession में सबसे ज़्यादा जो ज़रूरत होता है वो आपका दिमागी स्टेट बहुत स्टेबल होना चाहिए, बिकॉज यू आर कैरिंग 200 पैसेंजर्स बिहाइंड यू, सो इट्स अ ग्रेट रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी.
Today, the Kashmiri women have been doing wonders in various fields, and Aisha Aziz is one among them. They are not just achieving great heights, but are also inspiring others with their endeavors.
Jammu and Kashmir has a rich literary history, as it has made a notable contribution in the field of literature and produced eminent poets and writers who have even received an international recognition. To keep this literary tradition alive and provide a platform to the young budding talents, a 2-day literary festival was recently organized in the Jammu city of Union Territory.
Zorawar Singh Auditorium of Jammu University recently became a literary hub as it hosted the first ever All India Mushaira and Kavi Sammelan.
खून अपना हो या पराया हो, नस्ल आदम का खून है आखिर. खून अपना हो या पराया हो, नस्ल आदम का खून है आखिर. जंग मगरिब में हो या मशरिक में, अमनो आलम का खून है आखिर. हमें ऐसा
Organized by the Jammu and Kashmir Academy of Art, Culture and Languages in collaboration with Radio Mirchi, the event was attended by the country's top Hindi and Urdu poets, Bollywood lyricists and writers.
जिंदगी ठोकरें खाती है पिछड़कर तुझसे, तेरी पाजेब के टूटे हुए घुंघरू की तरह.
Named as Jasn-e-Jamhuriya, the Gala literary program aimed at providing a platform to the young literary gems of the Union Territory, where they can share a stage with prominent names in their respective fields.
मिठास, खुशबू, कशिश, रस हर एक बयान में है. अजब करिश्मा उर्दू तेरी जुबान में है.
ये नई पहल है, ये बहुत अच्छी पहल है, इसका स्वागत करते हैं. और जिस तरह कौमी एकता की बात हो रही है, कल मुशायरा और आज हिंदी कवि सम्मेलन और देश के बड़े बड़े कवि यहाँ पे आए हुए हैं, ये जम्मू के लिए भी एक सौभाग्यशाली दिन है और हम कवियों के लिए भी सौभाग्यशाली दिन है. अब तक तो ये था कि धारा 370 थी और जम्मू कश्मीर अलग ही हम लगता था, हम भले, लेकिन मन में एक पीड़ा थी कि 370 की वजह से हम थोड़े अलग अलग शायद हैं. लेकिन धारा 370 हटने के बाद में अब लगता है कि जम्मू कश्मीर हमारा है और हम जम्मू कश्मीर के हैं. मैंने एक पंक्तियाँ भी लिखी थी कि आओ मिलकर नया कश्मीर बनाते हैं, आओ मिलकर नया कश्मीर बनाते हैं, केसर की क्यारी में जन्नत. आओ मिलकर नया कश्मीर बनाते हैं, केसर की क्यारी में फिर से जन्नत महकाते हैं. समझना नहीं इसे मात्र जमीन का टुकड़ा, समझना नहीं इसे मात्र जमीन का टुकड़ा, भारत ये देह है तो कश्मीर है देश का मुखड़ा. आओ इस मुखड़े को सूरज सा चमकाते हैं, केसर की क्यारी में फिर से जन्नत महकाते हैं.
अजब करिश्मा उर्दू तेरी जुबान में है.
As a part of literary festival, a poetry competition was also organized by the Radio Mirchi that received 450 entries from the youth of Jammu and Kashmir. After adjudging each entry, 10 best young poets were chosen by adjudicators, 5 each from Urdu and Hindi, who recited their poetry during the event and interacted with senior poets. The Lieutenant Governor of the Union Territory, Manoj Sinha, who was the chief guest of the event, appreciated the young poets in his speech and even encouraged the youth to make use of poetry to express themselves. He also felicitated the participating veteran, renowned and young poets at the occasion.
इस बार कुछ गवर्नर साहब, लेफ्टिनेंट गवर्नर साहब, उनका पूरा दखल रहा है. उन्होंने क्योंकि जिस तरह से उनका पर्सनल इंटरेस्ट है लिटरेचर में, उन्होंने पर्सनली अपना इंटरेस्ट लेके इस प्रोग्राम को कामयाब बनाने की पूरी कोशिश की है. और कल का रिस्पांस बहुत अच्छा रहा और आज भी बहुत से कविजन और जम्मू के लोग जो अच्छे श्रोता हैं, अच्छे साहित्य की जानकारी रखने वाले हैं और कविता सुनने वाले, कविता पढ़ने वाले लोग साहित्यकार हैं. और आज भी काफ़ी तादाद में लोग यहाँ पर आए हैं. कुछ युवा लेखक, कुछ युवा कवि जिनको मौका दिया गया है यहाँ पे, और उनकी एक स्क्रीनिंग हुई है. स्क्रीनिंग के बाद उनका चयन हुआ है और 5 युवा कवि कल थे शायद जिन्होंने बहुत ही अच्छा कलाम पेश किया अपना, और 5 युवा कवि आज भी चयनित हुए हैं जिन्होंने अपनी रचनाएं प्रस्तुत की हैं और बहुत अच्छा रिस्पांस और काफ़ी तालियां बटोरी हैं उन्होंने।
The land with a rich history of art, literature and culture, Jammu and Kashmir is well known for producing some of the best Urdu, Hindi and English writers and poets in India. One among them is Amin Kamil, called as a master of ghazals. Kamil is considered as one of the most multifaceted literary gems from the region. His works include nazms, ghazals, short stories, poems and operas. Then there is Rahman Rahi, the only Kashmiri to be bestowed with Gyan Peeth, the highest literary honor in the country. Considered as one of the greatest living Kashmiri poets, his works include Sukhok Soda, Kalame Rahi and many more. Shafi Shauk is another one in the list who is credited with redefining the origin of Kashmiri language. He has authored, edited and translated over 47 books in Kashmiri, English, Urdu and Hindi. To bring more such literatures to the fore, Jammu and Kashmir Academy of Art, Culture and Languages is making all efforts to provide youngsters with an opportunity to present their compositions.
जब उनको ऐसे मंच मिलते रहेंगे तो मुझे पूरी उम्मीद है कि उनको और ज़्यादा जो निखार आ जाएगा। हीरा तो है वो, देखिए आप इसको लिखा तो नहीं सकते हैं, वो उनके अंदर है, सिर्फ ये जो मंच है उनको निखारता है। और जो ये बड़े कवि हैं इनके साथ बैठने का मौका मिलता है, ये लफ्ज़ों का जो जादू है, शायरी क्या है, लफ्ज़ों का जादू है, उस जादू को कैसे पिरोया जाता है, कैसे किया जाता है, वो यहाँ पर इस मंच पर सीख जाते हैं।
गाथा मालूम है वो लैला मजनू की, लैला मजनू से आगे हैं हम दोनों।
Today, this rich legacy of literature is carried forward by a number of writers and poets from the Union Territory who are breaking barriers and challenging stereotypes by writing about womanhood, violence, resistance, resilience and romance. With a pen in a hand, they are rewriting Kashmiri's literary history with creativity, courage and conviction.
दो शख्स ही सबसे प्यारे हैं हम दोनों, लेकिन किस्मत के मारे हैं हम दोनों। राहों पर कांटे हैं हमको मालूम था, राहों पर कांटे हैं हमको मालूम था, अब एक दूजे के सहारे हैं हम दोनों।
Next, we move to our section of Incredible India, where today we'll take you to soak your senses in the spectacular Float Festival of Madurai in Tamil Nadu. Observed on the full moon night between mid-January and mid-February, the festival is celebrated since 17th century at the famous Meenakshi Amman temple of the city.
Madurai, a temple town in Madurai, was wrapped up in blanket of colors as the city observed the famous float festival at the famous Meenakshi Amman temple. Traditionally known as Thepotsav, the festival begins with the spectacular procession of the embellished idols, goddess Meenakshi and Lord Sundareshwar during the wee hours of the day. The deities are transported from the Meenakshi temple to Mariamman Teppukulam lake in golden palanquins, accompanied by musicians and devotees. Then they are placed and worshipped in a makeshift mandap on the bank. Afterwards, the idols are prepared for a boat ride on a raft-like structure festooned with flowers and fabrics. Devotees were happy to be a part of this wonderful occasion as it provided them an opportunity to come out of their houses and celebrate after a long COVID period.
இங்கே இருக்கேன், நான் தெப்பக்குளத்தில் இருக்கேன். ரியலி வந்து ரொம்ப செம்மையாக இருந்துச்சு. அது ஃபுல் ஆஃப் வாட்டராக இருக்குது. ரொம்ப பார்க்கவே ரொம்ப என்ன சொல்கிறது, ஒரு கண் அட்ராக்டிவாக இருக்குது, செம்மையாக இருக்குது. அது வந்து மதுரை மீனாட்சியை பார்க்குறதுக்கு ரொம்ப சூப்பராக இருக்குது. ஸோ இந்த ஒரு 10 months இங்கே வீட்டுக்குள்ளே இருந்தோம், அது ரொம்ப இதாக இருந்துச்சு. பட் இப்போ வந்து வெளியே வந்ததுக்கப்புறம் ரொம்ப செம்மையாக இருக்குது.
Rope pulling by the cheering crowd of people is the most interesting part of the occasion. There are 2 ropes tied to the float. One is pulled by men on the island and the other by those on the bank to draw the float for rounds in the lake. For crowd management and traffic regulation, around 1,000 police personnel were deployed by the city police. Moreover, fire and rescue teams were also stationed along with boats to rescue people in case of untoward incidents. This was for the second consecutive year that the tank housing the float was filled up to the brim, otherwise the ritual used to be conducted in less quantity of water.
தெப்பத்திருவிழாக்கு வந்திருக்கேன். வீடு தெப்பக்குளத்தில் தான் இருக்குது. நாங்கள் எப்பயும் வருவோம், இங்கே வந்து இருந்து இந்த தெப்பத்தை ரசித்து போவோம். கடந்த ஒரு 5 வருஷமாக தண்ணி இல்லாமல் ரொம்ப எல்லாரும் இதாக இருந்தோம். இப்போ தண்ணி வரவும் எல்லாருக்கும் ரொம்ப ஹாப்பியாக இருக்குது. எல்லாரும் ஓரளவுக்கு கொஞ்சம் எல்லாம் கண்ட்ரோலாக இருக்காங்க. எல்லாம் மாஸ்க் போட்டிருக்காங்க. எல்லாமே கரெக்டாக நடக்குது. இன்னும் வந்து இந்த வருஷத்தோட இந்த கொரோனா முடிஞ்சு நம்ம எல்லாரும் வெளியே வந்து திருப்பி 2021 சிறப்பாக அமையணும்.
Dating back to 17th century, the festival was initiated by Thirumalai Nayak, the king of Madurai. After the king commissioned the construction of the lake over an area of 5 kilometers, every year on his birth anniversary, the principal ceremony of taking the idols on a boat ride across the lake started. Even today, this festival has maintained its magnificence and is even thronged by people from outside.
Today in Madurai we are having Teppathiruvila and many people are joining us, and if this COVID situation has been over, it will be happy. So I'm first time on Madurai seeing this Teppathiruvila, and fully it was been decorated and very nice.
In the evening, the island temple is ostentatiously lit with colorful lamps and lights, making the sight a mesmerizing one. Decorated with fairy lights and oil lamps, the lake looks nothing short of a paradise, and the reflection of lights and lamps in the lake water makes it look even more appealing.
So, that's all we have for you in this week's episode. Till we see you next week, it's goodbye from the entire production team.